What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll take a peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart, the altcoin market, talk about something that's going on tonight for the XRP community, and talk about some of the pressures that are on the market right now as we head into the final 10, 11 days of the calendar year of 2022 as we get ready to head into 2023. First, we'll start here with Bitcoin. After hovering here throughout the entire weekend, we started the week with a little bit of a push down there on Monday. Here we are Tuesday morning. Markets have just opened in the United States. We can see that prices have recovered. What happened? We're back to above weekend prices hovering right here, right now. Otherwise, pretty tame. These are the things we talked about last week. Looking for some support to come in here and for things to kind of just calm down and get boring from here. Not wanting to see really big dips coming in here right now for this to be the accumulation structure that we've talked about for several weeks, that we would work our way back up to the top, head down, look for some type of ABC to start forming in here, or at least sideways grinding of boredom. So long as we can kind of hold that there, it looks like from the indicator perspective, it has finally worked its way back up after really working down. We can see some strength emerging back in here. So hopefully that we are just calming down now. Things to think about that we're now at the end of the year in regards to price action, right? You look at Bitcoin, look at from the entire year at this point to think about what people are doing here. So let me preface this by saying I'm not an accountant. This is not accounting advice. And you should speak to an accountant to advise you and to confirm the things that I'm telling you are true or not true. But do not depend on what I am saying as accounting advice. Speak to an accountant for yourself, for them to instruct you on what you should do. But to understand what is happening here right now is that we're in a particular phase where prices are really low, and there's a very strong argument for tax loss harvesting. So to actually make money by actually just selling and rebuying. And that we're likely seeing some pressures here of that happening in the market right now as we head into the final days of 2022. So for example, I spoke to my accountant. I do hire a CPA because my taxes do get pretty complicated. They had to help me a lot on the NFTs. This is a new world with NFTs in the United States tax system. But I did inquire with my accountant because we're at the end of the year. The prices are so low. And I sent her a simple question and I asked, hey, crypto is really down this year. You've spoken to me in the past about tax loss harvesting. I asked very bluntly, I said, hey, should I start selling some and just buy it right back in order to have that loss on my taxes, to reduce my income? So when I file my taxes in 2023, I can reduce my net income for 2022. And I'll kind of paraphrase her response to me. But remember, this is not your accountant. This is my accountant. But the general reply I received was, yes, that you can do this for 2022. And right now, crypto assets aren't subject to wash sales such as securities are. So if you sell at a loss and then you just buy it right back, you get to take that loss for your taxes. This is probably going to change in the future when Congress tries to pass something. However, they have tried and failed to make crypto subject to those same wash trade rules as securities have. So the strategy works for 2022, but moving forward into 2023 and beyond, we're going to have to keep an eye on it to see if those wash trade rules do go into effect. So my own personal accountant advised to me, go ahead and sell and take that loss on your taxes and buy it right back. That's what my accountant told me to do. Now, if I derive problems from that, that's just something that I'm going to have to bring up with my accountant. Just because Blockchain Backer's accountant told him to do it, it does not mean I'm telling you to go do it or my accountant is telling you to go do it. But it's something you can look into. It's something you can go talk to an accountant about and inquire with them. But we have to understand as we're in this kind of last week before we go into the holidays, and a lot of people are going to take that week off after Christmas into the new year and not return back to the new year. So a lot of that tax loss harvesting is going to happen this week right now into these next couple of days. But one thing to also think about too, whenever you do something like that, right? Whenever you sell and then you buy it right back, what have you also done? You've also reset the clock on your long-term capital gains, and you've now started a new clock on short-term capital gains. In essence, you have to wait a full year in order for an asset to be considered long-term capital gains. So by selling and then buying it right back, you have started over your short-term capital gains clock for a whole year. So that's the disadvantage of doing it. And the tax rates for short-term capital gains versus long-term capital gains can be quite substantive. So not telling you what to do, but telling you like that's a thing that we have going on here right now as we're in this final like week of really active trading that will take place. And really, it's probably going to wrap itself up in the next couple of days. I don't know when the massive fall off is going to happen in regards to activity in markets, but I would assume it's not going to last all the way till Friday. We'll probably start seeing a big fall off probably tomorrow and the day after and the day after. But anyway, that's something going on right now, right? Tax loss harvesting right now, taking the losses. It's not very often you get a whole year where you get that opportunity to actually owe less taxes by actually making a quick sale. And again, crypto assets are not the same as securities, so they're not subjected to the wash trade rules that you have. So at least that's what my accountant tells me. Go find that stuff out for yourself. There's still 10 days, 11 days left in the year. But just understand that's something that is going on right now. And a lot of people are considering these things. So we'll move on from that. Accounting, it's the topic of business that is the most boring to me. Obviously, business is about money. So accounting is about money. But taxes is not fun. I don't like thinking about it. So we'll move on from it. But I thought I would talk about it. We're at the end of the year. There's a lot of tax loss harvesting happening right now. As for crypto prices, boom, we've even just in these last few minutes seen a little bit more of a pop-up happening here in the market. Ethereum has been able to hold these levels. This is great. The altcoin market has held the lows down in here. There was actually like this slight wick that went and set a new low that is kind of concerning. You can look at it on the 15-minute chart and even see it. It's a wick there. So is it an API wick or not? So far, the support level is still holding right in here, but definitely want to see this hold. If we saw the altcoin market break into new lows at this point, dear God, that'd be scary. But so far, it's so good. It's still holding in there. Well, look, if we put it on the daily time frame, you can see the API issue doesn't show up there. We could see that it did still hold the low here from November 21st. So I often think when we're looking at these market caps, there's just some type of API issue that happens here in trading view. So like if I put us on like the 8-hour time frame, it will not show me any bars beyond this moment. Like it just won't go past that moment. If I put us on the 4-hour, same story. It just won't get us past there. If I put us on the 12-hour, it won't get us past there. But if I finally go to the daily, it'll give me more data than that. So obviously, we could see that the lows were holding there on the daily time frame. However, when we switch over to like the 15 minutes, suddenly we see a wick that ended up happening in here that went below this level over here. However, on the daily, when we flip it back, suddenly that API issue doesn't show up. So moral of the story, we're still holding supports happening right in here. The low wasn't taken out here in this view. But that's as low as I'd like to see it go. I don't want to see it go any lower than that. And so far, so good that, we were talking about having things hold. Ethereum, kind of the big boy of the altcoin market, still able to hold. XRP, like we've talked about for the last several weeks, it was having the same thing of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wasn't willing to say much about XRP due to the fact that it had also stopped right back in there, and that typically we're going to see a push happen down in here. And as we were there, I wasn't willing to put a level of excitement to say we were going to go up or to say we were going to go down. And I specifically said, no matter which direction it ends up going, I'll say I was wrong, but I was also very clear. And I made a whole video on the complications of it due to it being right here and why there was no directional choice for me to be able to lean one way or the other. So direction has obviously been shown. It was the thing that I was worried about, was that we had been paused out right here on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rolls back up to wave 4, continues down. Same things we were looking at for Ethereum. It's just that XRP got there much faster. Same thing we were looking at for Bitcoin. It's just that XRP got there much faster. But the things that I said was that I was looking for prices to work their way back up to the top, for us to pull back down. And then what I said I'd turn into imminent breakout incoming soon, blockchain backer. And we're getting close to me becoming that. But the first thing I would like to see is for prices to just stabilize for like a week. If we can stabilize for like a week or so, get to the end of the year, there still may be more dipping in here, But in order to get rid of this trajectory and just show that ranging can emerge in here, then I will start becoming imminent breakout oncoming guy. Obviously, like in the video that I made yesterday, I showed this is one of the most complicated market dynamics that we've seen in the market over the last like 5 years because of what happened with FTX. For the first time, you see an oxymoron or a contradiction happening in the market right in here, where you have Dow Jones rising, you have DXY falling, and then at the same time, you have Bitcoin and crypto falling. Those are not the order of events on how things work in these markets. It is DXY up, stocks down, Bitcoin down. Or it is DXY down, stocks up, Bitcoin and crypto up. That is the order of how things behave in these markets. And same to the opposite. DXY up, stocks down, Bitcoin down. But something happened when the FTX collapse occurred. The DXY went down, the stock market went up as it's supposed to do. However, one person did not participate. That is crypto. That is Bitcoin. That is the FTX collapse. So we officially have this moment here where crypto deviated away from the stock market. The hard thing about that is it not only presents a situation right here, but I can imagine what the future is going to be like moving here on out. Because we officially, especially for speculators, right? Speculators are going to absolutely love the thing that I'm about to say. And this is not me speculating. This is me now just saying we have a data point of where this can actually occur. We officially have a data point where the crypto market can deviate away from the stock market. The bad thing is it deviated in the wrong direction. It deviated down. But can we ever say from here on out for the rest of time, has there ever been a moment where crypto did the opposite of the stock market? The answer is officially yes. We have seen an event occur where crypto deviated from the stock market. So this is going to provide the speculators and clickbaiters all the things they need to say the stock market's going to crash and crumble, but crypto is going to deviate away and go to the moon. Because we can look through here and see the stock market. This is here in blue. It's a Dow Jones Industrial Average. We see the Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin that I'm using on here. We can see this is Luna and UST. See, stock market was falling also while Luna and UST fall was happening. We can see the contagion moment for Bitcoin. This is where Three Arrows Capital and Celsius crumbled, but at the same time, the stock market was crumbling. We see every little bouncy bounce that's happening here in the stock market in blue, and that this is also happening for Bitcoin at the same time. We see as it rises and where this peak for the stock market comes in, that we actually end up falling in the stocks. We fall in Bitcoin. We have this little pop. We have the pop here in the Dow. Boom, we come back. We start working our way back up. And then boom, there's officially the deviation. The first time ever in 2022, we have the actual deviation that occurs in here. There's officially a data point to go back to and actually say, yes, there can be an event. So what is the potential out there? If an event that is so bad could cause crypto to deviate from the stock market, is there also the potential for an event so good that it could deviate away from the stock market? Not that I am sitting here saying that is true or believe that that is true, but we officially have a data point to say it's possible. And merely the fact of saying it's possible will send speculators and clickbaiters out of control. Because the reality is there certainly is a data point to say we have deviated away from macro markets in this actual move that happened in here. So I do believe this moment in time is one of the most impactful moments in crypto by simply what it means. It is always DXY up, stocks down, crypto down, or DXY down, stocks up, crypto up. And while DXY did go down and stocks did go up, Bitcoin went the opposite way. Crypto went the opposite way when an event of significant magnitude occurred. Like, I know we're spending a lot of time talking about that, but that's because it's all I can think about. If you really think about it, this was the first time. This is like, we are always in tune with the stock market. Look at this silliness. We are always in tune with the stock market. That's the first one we're not. DXY goes down, stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes down because of an event. That means we can officially deviate from the stock market. Does it mean we will? Does it mean that it can actually happen to the upside? We have no evidence to prove that it can happen to the upside. Zero. But we do have proof and evidence that it can deviate away from the stock market. And that is a significant data point, a significant fact to just have. And as a chart nerd, as somebody who just looks at charts all the time, to say that that is a significant thing. That is a crazy thing. And we may think to ourselves, yeah, that's happened before, right? I mean, we had Luna collapse. We had UST collapse. We had Three Arrows Capital and we had Celsius. But it's not until you go look at the charts really closely to see that the orange, which is the Dow Jones, it led the way before the UST and Luna collapse. And then the Dow Jones led the way before Celsius and Three Arrows Capital collapsed. And that the price action was the Dow Jones for Bitcoin. It was the Dow Jones. And then you move over here, and that is significantly different. That is different from all of this. And I know we're spending a lot of time talking about it, and I'm just repeating it. I'm just reiterating this. Look at it. This, all that stuff you may have thought about April and May and June and UST and Luna and Three Arrows Capital and Celsius, everything you think you thought, it was the Dow Jones leading the way. All the price action you saw in Bitcoin, it was the Dow Jones. This is significant. This is wild. And it's a moment in time we're going to reflect back on for many years. And if you want to throw on your tinfoil hat and maybe, just maybe, be crazy for a minute with a tinfoil hat and say that there's the potential that this thing was timed and happened at a timed moment. Look at the US dollar currency index. Look at the parabolic rise that the DXY has had this entire time in here. Then zoom out on it a little bit and say to yourself, do you think it looks like, just from a visual appearance, like it has broken down yet? You could say no, it doesn't look like it yet. The pullback that it had had until this moment was similar in size and magnitude to the ones that we had already seen as this thing had been rising. But at what point does it actually look like it's actually broken, right? So we're on replay here. We can only see until November 9th. Then you go to November 10th. Boom, right? Then you go to November 11th. Boom. Now, suddenly, something's different. Something's going on in here. The DXY is breaking. And on November 10th and November 11th, as it confirms a breakdown, FTX, November 11th, files for bankruptcy. SHTF in the crypto market, literally the confirmation of the breakdown in the DXY. The biggest controversy, the most political players involved, all of your CNBC personalities who are involved in it. What is the statistical chances and statistical probabilities that these things occur in the biggest controversy of crypto happens at the exact literal moment of the breakdown in the DXY? So I'm saying it's weird. And so I'll drop it after I say this. But the thing for that is that we've always seen that crypto is following the stock market. And so can we ever make the statement moving forward that crypto moves step in step with the stock market? It is fully tied to the stock market. Whatever the stock market does, it's what crypto does. Up until this point, we've been able to say that. But now, anytime that statement is made, we have to say, except for that one time. And except for that one time means it doesn't 100% follow the stock market. That's significant. And if that doesn't blow your mind, like it blows my mind, well, I think it should. If you've lived in denial of the Bitcoin price chart following the stock market, I hope you've at least seen that it has the whole time. And this is like a significant moment in time where it did not. And that is crazy. That is mind-blowing. So, okay, I'll move on from it. We won't talk about it anymore in this video. Just wanted to let you know, out of a 24-hour day, I spend 12 hours thinking about that. So moving back to current price action we're seeing today, in a green day after yesterday was a red day. It looks like there's kind of like a false dip happening in here. This is what we were looking for. We were looking for Ethereum in the market to be able to find some type of support coming in here. We saw some things dip below that November 28th low. We see Ethereum was able to hold it. Bitcoin was able to hold it. Now we're doing what we were hoping to see happen. So hopefully this is the action that we see for the rest of the year. Likely another dip to come a little bit later. But then afterwards, let's get it going. The great thing to see is of what we've talked about for the last month was that we moved back to the top of the range. We ended up rejecting from that range, which we said we thought would happen. Finally, support has come in, boring price action. That's the next phase. If we can prove that we can hold here for the remainder of the year, I'm going to annoy the crud out of you. The trolls are going to absolutely hate it. I'm going to put big fat green arrows on every single thumbnail just to make them mad. I'm going to put imminent explosion, surge inbound, rocket ships, bears will be in disbelief, bulls on parade. But we've got to get through this for a little bit first before I start doing that. So far, so good. Now we just need to see stability emerge in the market after all the volatility of last week and stabilizing out. Then incoming the green arrows and bulls on parade and imminent explosive surges coming. But so far, so good. Let's get through tax harvesting. Let's get through the end of the year. Let's kick 2023 off with a bang. But to pass the time throughout the rest of the year, if we are going to see some boring price action, one of the exciting things that is happening tonight is over there on the YouTube channel On the Chain Live, which is the one that I actually did a live stream on Sunday night. Tonight, it's a bigger one. It's one with John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan and several people from the XRP community. I may even make a stop in there to say hello. We did this last year on their channel with a bunch of XRP community members. Highly anticipated, a good show. This will be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to see a live stream with John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, and several XRP community members tonight, go subscribe to On the Chain, and maybe I'll stop by in there. So that's what's going on today. We're seeing some support come in there for the cryptocurrency market. We are in that tax loss harvesting season of the end of the year. It's still mind-blowing to see that deviation away from the stock market. But again, good to see some support building. Let's just see that we can carry that through the remainder of the year. Otherwise, potentially check you guys out there over on the chain tonight. I'll at least be hanging out in the chat. And for the rest of the day, I'll be hanging out here on Twitter. So you can follow me at BCBacker. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.